The Luo originated from the Middle East. Jerusalem is the center of the world. If you measure it from whatever direction you come to Jerusalem, that is the center. That is where Luo originated. We moved from there to Ethiopia. From Ethiopia, we went to Egypt. All the black pharaohs in Egypt were Luos. All. For over 450 years, we were in Egypt. Something happened that we were pushed away from Egypt. We followed the Nile up to where the Blue Nile joins the White Nile. We got stuck there. We say Khartoum, but the Arab did not come. So it has become Khartoum now. Now, when Luo built a home state, you don't throw your rubbish around your house, outside the gate. That has become what you know now as Omdurman. Odu. Omdurman is Odu. Khartoum is a Khartoum. We said we are going to get finished with those people. The people we came with are the following: the Luo, the Langi, the Teso people, the Maasai, and Kalenjin. But the Langi, the Luo, the Langi, Kalenjin, and Maasai and Teso went back to Ethiopia. When we were waiting for the Arab to come, they ran away to Ethiopia. After many years, the Blue Nile dried up because there was terrible drought in Ethiopia. So they crossed, they went to Kenya. The Langi came from there up to here, and they were very nomadic. They moved from place to place. And they were good fighters. The Luo used to fear the Langi for fighting, for the sake of fighting. So the Langi, they actually will teach their children. People, you hide yourself because the Langi will fight you for apparent no reason. They actually used to sing to teach their children to hide away from the Langi because they were fighting us. They did not know that we were together in Egypt because those who came were great-grandchildren of the Langi. We stayed with them there. And then from Sudan, we followed the Nile up to Amor here, where Labon and Gipe separated. Very interesting. When Labon separated with his brother, because the wife of Labon came out, it was very misty morning. She came out, Labon went for hunting expedition. But when his wife came out, he heard something huge was moving behind her house. She made an alarm. Gipe ran and said, why did you make an alarm? The woman pointed to the direction of the house, behind the house. And Gipe also heard that there was something huge moving behind the house. She quickly ran into the house of his brother, picked one of the spears, and threw it there and speared the elephant that ran away with the ancestral spear, crying, "We." By midday, the mist disappeared. And Gipi, his wife, Labongo's wife, his children, Labongo's children, were standing on the cowpeas field where to assess the damage that was done by the elephant. That very moment, Labongo came back and they narrated the story. But the moment they said the ancestral spear that was given to him was used to spear the elephant, Labongo's eyes became red. Said, "My brother, were you not there when my father handed over to me the ancestral spear, that if my time came to go to a place of no return, I should give it to, pass it on to my elder son? You must go after the elephant now." The wife of Kipi, sensing that there was trouble between the two brothers, she quickly ran inside her house, quickly prepared dry food and brought it in a bag. And 2 spears, a horn, a pair of shoes, a knife, and a gourd of water. So Gipi set off, blowing his horn, hele, hele, hele. So he went. For many days, nothing was heard of him. So they thought probably the beasts of the wild wilderness had eaten him. But eventually he arrived in the forest where all the elephants lived and died there. There in the forest there was a woman, an old lady. When he saw Gipi, he said, "My son, what has brought you here?" He narrated the story how his brother chased him to come after the elephant. His feet were full of sores. So the woman nursed him. When he got well, he took him in the forest where there were piles and piles of spears brought about by the elephants that died in the forest. They went from one pile to another until they came to the place where the elephant that Gipi speared died. And Gipi recognized his spear, said, "That is my spear." Said, "Okay, you take it." They came back home. Time came for Gipi to come back. So this woman prepared for him dry food and also sandals for him. Besides, he gave him the most beautiful beads that the Luo people had never set eyes on. So Gipi came, eventually arrived around 4 o'clock. 10 o'clock in the morning, blowing his horn, hele, hele. And when the children heard their father coming, they ran to greet him. He came past the children without greeting them. He went straight to his brother's compound and called out, "Labongo, come out!" As soon as Labongo stretched up from his house, he stuck the spear on the ground. "Ding! This is your spear." And he went very angry to his compound. He sat on a stool, holding his stick like this. His wife, the wife of Labongo, his children, and the children of Labongo all came to greet him, but Labongo did not come. So, after the formality of greeting was over, the wife of Gipi took the bag that was brought by her husband. So he probably wanted to take it inside. But unfortunately, some of the most beautiful beads fell on the ground. There was great excitement. In the midst of that great excitement, one of Labongo's daughters swallowed the bead. Gipi grabbed the child by the hand, said, "Your daughter has swallowed my bead. I want it now, now, now." Say, "My brother, this is very simple. The girl will release herself tomorrow. You will get your bead." Say, "No way, now." And because Labon was already guilty for mistreating his brother, he took the girl inside, cut her stomach open, looked for the bead, killed the girl, and gave the brother the bead, and said, "My brother, we can no longer continue to remain brothers to each other. You come with your family, let us go to the nearest river." And they stood back to back, cursed the womb of the woman that gave them birth, the breasts of the woman that fed them, all the care and the love, everything about that woman, they cursed and they moved away from each other without seeing the face of each other. So Gipi went to the river Nile and they found a huge tree. They cut it for days until the trees fell across the Nile. The Nile was still very narrow. So they crossed. And when they crossed, they made an oath that we shall never, never cross the Nile again because of what had happened between Gipi and Labon. So the king, the word of Alu, when he crosses the Nile, he dies. That is what they believe, but it might not be true. So that is why Gipi family are in Alu, they are Alu in West Nile and also in Congo. But Labongo that remained here, they found that there was something very funny. Labongo was drinking the river from here, Gipi was drinking the river from there, so it had become a Luo saying that one ginga de dong whatever my kulu. So and so have nothing in common except sharing the water from the river. Only the river that unites those two people. But they have never reconciled, as Otuna said. Up to now, up to today, maybe up to tomorrow, I don't know. I think this group here, we should look towards the reconciling the Alu people with the Labongo's children. So, Labongo came to Anaka. Those people who know the history here, from Pakwach you come several miles, you come to Anaka. In Anaka, the Bunyoro people heard that there was new arrival on the northern part of the Nile, so they sent a delegation. In those days, they did not understand the language, so they was speaking in figurative language. So there are some people there in Bunyoro called Baswezi who are ruling us. When they want to raise their spear, the tip of the bit of the spear, they put it on the back of your foot, so it pricks. So the Luo said, that is very bad. Secondly, they said they are royal people. They are from the royal family. If they want to spit a saliva, you must open your mouth and spit in your mouth and you must swallow it. The Luo said, okay, you have the lapi, you have the right course. We are going to help you. So they selected the boys who are not yet married. I'm coming to an end now. Who are not yet married. They are called Literia. Those who are as straight and as strong, as straight as the thorns. Said, you go and fight. But an old man stood up and said, no, we must put a shield behind those boys. So they selected boys, people who have married, who are newly married, they have one or two children, one or two children only, to be at the back as a shield. So they went to Bunyoro. The Nile was still very narrow. They just walked over the mountain, the rocks, and they went to Bunyoro. They beat the Baswezi in no time. So they were celebrating, Papidye, Papidye, Papidye. Bunyoro did not understand our language. So when the British came, they said Babito were the ones. There is no Babito. These are Babit here in Payera. So the king, they said, you don't go. They supplied them with the young girls, so they have wives. All of them remained there. One of them became king, and he had beautiful, handsome boys. So they started quarreling who was going to replace their father. One ran to Buganda, became king there. Another one ran to Toro, became king there. So all the kingdoms in Buganda, in Bunyoro, in Toro are Luo's kingdoms. The rest went to Kumi, then to Tororo.